Second one no good, pulled down by Carson. 8-point game, 6.5 to go. Carson out high, 10 points in his starting role tonight so far for Kyrie Carson. Ristoff looking at Mormon, thinks he can take him. Mormon did a nice job to recover. Over to Bashev. Bashev going in the lane first. I think possibly the first shot he's missed tonight, pulled down by Mormon. And it looks like a frustration foul inside against Cuesta. Kyrie Carson.
You don't want to foul him back there.
And not only that, that creates a bonus for Ventura as well.
That's 3 fouls in Cuesta in under a minute. That puts Ventura at the line.
Mormon's right back after making one of the last 2 and 3 of 4 for the night. 1-on-1. He gets 1 and he will get another. 14 for Mormon. Mentioned 6'5" player out of Spokane. A lot of different states represented on the roster of Ventura. A lot of different countries represented on Cuesta's as the offensive rebound pulled down by Arrington. 9-point game, 6 minutes left. Robinson flashes out for a second to help Carson.
Cuesta's trying to trap a bit now.
Arrington trying to work around that track over to Harmon. 15 to shoot. Harmon into the corner. Dooley trying to get it. Moves it inside and laid in. Able to get it inside to Eric Mitchell for his second bucket.
That was a very athletic move because he was under the basket and he came flying back in.
Robinson outside, Cougars down double digits again. Pedrosa moving inside, trying to work around a double team. Forced the shot, won't go. Mormon lost it, but right there to get it is Mitchell for the Pirates.
Okay, spread offense now. They're going to be running the clock down at 25, 26 seconds before they move.
Soto off the bench has stretched a little bit, so the suspicion's right. I think thinks the ball is going back. Jeremy Landenberger to the scores table.
They're holding the lead, though, even though he's been on the bench. They're got some depth.
Dooley on over to Mormon. He couldn't hang on to his body, went flying. They go over to Arrington, who drains a killer 3. 23, and Rusty Blair calls the timeout. 4:44 to go. As the Pirates, after the Cougars had gotten as close as I believe 6, pushed it back out to 70 to 56. So Cougars again just looking for some consistent offense, but again, you know, one of the things that we'd be hoping to get were some of the offensive rebounds they have not been able to get. But again, the quickness on the boards by Ventura, and obviously in transition, has been very tough for Cuesta to handle tonight. Making
the difference, and I think the variety of offenses that Coach Ramirez is running, it's really hard to defend because you have a passing game very spread out, and then suddenly they'll break into a tight game where they're cutting and driving to the basket. And if you're not real quick, or you don't have the quickness like Ventura has, it's very difficult to defend. It's almost like you don't know where they're hitting you from. They come from all directions.
It's going to be a great first, second place game coming up after this in the women's side, where Ron Barba now has the Cuesta women's team in the state rankings. Going to play the number 2 team in the state, the Ventura Pirates, a longtime power. But, you know, for a moment to talk a little bit about the game coming up at 7 o'clock, Ron Barba and his team, the way that they have been able to build things up in his third year. The first year, really, he had no time to do much of anything because of being a light hire. But coming in here and really putting his team a very solid second place in the Western State Conference, that should be a good one to catch a little bit later.
They're very good. I will be here for that. I don't know if I'm going to do color or not, but definitely bringing the family and some friends out to see that ball game.
4.5 to go. Kenny Robinson back out to Plum and Ristoff. Ristoff back over to Bashev. Bashev, the 3 will not go, going out long, and nobody there but Mitchell from the Pirates.
That's our first attempt, 3, and now we have to kind of hope we can hit some. We got to go back outside now.
Dooley, a little trouble holding on. Back out to Harmon as Cougars trying to force a turnover here inside, and Mitchell won't go. Really shot. Ristoff has it for the Cougars. There's some time, but like Jim says, some stops and 3s are going to be needed. Landenberger back in over to Ristoff. He's the one you want. Looking inside now. We'll send it back out to Robinson. Harmon's got him, and they're still looking possibly for inside shots. Carson might have been tapped, and he got tagged. Kyrie Carson, a chance for another of the, as Jim said, the old-fashioned
The old-fashioned three is three, and he's a good free throw shooter. I think about 80% or thereabouts.
Third foul on Dooley, and it will be double bonus the rest of the way for the Cougars, as after a long time on the bench with 3 fouls, Joseph Soto coming in. Ivan Dooley sitting down, just 3 points in this one, despite averaging 15 for the season.
He sat out for about 7 minutes, and they didn't lose very much.
Kyrie Carson converts. He's got 13 to tie him with Ristov for most on the Cougars. 11-point game, but under 4 minutes to go. Pushed up by Harmon. Bashev, who is bouncy, stays with him, but Bashev, I think, got called for the check. And that is exactly it. 4th foul, Vasil Bashev. 8th team foul, so we will have 1-on-1 coming up here.
They don't have to put him on the line quite yet, maybe another minute and a half and everything, but this does stop the game, stops the clock, and we're going to find out how well, I think in the next 3 minutes or so, how well Ventura shoots free throws.
So far, so Michael Harmon been having a pretty good night at the line. He's been there a few times. It's the first one, giving him 14 points. Lead back to 12 with 3:44 to go. Harmon, second one rims home. And Robinson will bring it up. 13-point game. Ristov going to go inside, going past Arrington. Won't go, but a whistle before the shot. That's the 4th on Arrington, and it is. Double bonus the rest of the way, so Ristov for 2 at the free throw line with 3:35 left.
I continue to be impressed by Ventura. They have really good balance, and they're very versatile. And almost hard to detect as they're a very, very solid defensive team.
Dooley in for Arrington at the 4th foul. Also looks like he's holding his arm or something. It's in obvious pain walking in front of us as Ristov makes them both. Back to 11. That's been a number we've used a lot in this half. That was the halftime difference. Harmon past Bashev. Bashev racing to catch up. Bashev, though, has to be careful. That's number 5 on him. He's done. Again, just trying to reach in and make something happen, but Bashev picking up a couple relatively cheap fouls late, and that will be team foul number 9. So Bashev's out and Oscar Pedroso back off the bench and into the game. Vasil Bashev sits down, 9 points off the bench tonight for the Cougars.
Again, the quickness, so you got by him, you had to reach out and grab him, or he was on his way.
Looks like Arrington might be more of a shoulder. They're looking at kind of up at the joint high on the shoulder as the first one made by Harmon. 16, so Arrington may not come back, but then again, from the looks of things with that depth that Jim talked about, Pirates may not need him.
They've been playing 9 people all night. I mean, balancing the time pretty well.
Harmon makes them both. 74-61, 3:25 left. Robinson looking at Soto. Taking him off the dribble, got the rhythm, long jumper, won't go. Nobody there for a board, but Michael Harmon. And Cougars really very few second chances, very little as far as offensive rebounding in this game.
Well, the 61 points. I mean, their last outing they scored 103. So this is a very solid team. I've seen Pierce and I've seen Hancock several times, and these guys are as good as anybody, really.
Soto, the 3, it's good. Soto after a long rest.
Soto dramatically returns.
13 points, 16-point game. Robinson inside, got it in the end, one contact, and Soto in there on defense.
And Soto
for the ball and went down hard.
Soto looks like he's hurt.
Landed kind of funny on his ankle, I think, was kind of hopping right after he came down. Not sure if he landed on somebody or what, but you could tell immediately the way he was going.
I got his ankle, right ankle.
His ankle, and you're seeing a couple injuries late here. Was the Ventura trainer saying that he's had a little more work than he was bargaining for in the last few minutes here with Arrington coming out, and now Soto is now being
requiring
helped
help. Yeah.
So they can take him over to the table where Arrington's already being worked on.
That would not bode well. I mean, they do not want to lose this guy. He's the...
Yeah, it's going to be John McMurray coming in to replace him, freshman out of Ventura. And now a timeout being called here, so we can take a break with 77 to 63 our score with 2:40 to go. So as far as the Cougars are concerned, again, they do have an opportunity. You've got a couple of the biggest weapons for Ventura going down with injury right now. They've got an opportunity to catch up in this game, but what do they have to do? Obviously, they've got to get some stops and some turnovers because the Ventura quickness is not going to stop with those two out.
For sure. Quest is going to have to stop the clock. They're going to I think they're going to probably foul a lot here in the last couple of minutes. Try to slow the game down. Hopefully that Ventura will miss and Cuesta can come back and pound down a few threes. 14-point lead. We really need to hit threes. The drives are nice, but unless there's a foul and we get 3-point chances, it's going to be really hard to get into this game. Their passing game too. They're very patient. And they're very savvy, and they make good cuts, and they break out of the double and triple team really well. They always have a man in the area.
Yeah, it's very quick, but it's very disciplined. When you say they really know they make really good, you can see they make very good passes. They make very good choices. Cuesta right now finding a way to pick up some instant offense.
Well, I think they've shot 2 or 3 outside shots this half. Their inside game was very good, but Cuesta was just a bit too far behind, and they ended up matching them point for point.
And that key stretch we've talked about just in that last couple minutes of the first half where it was a pretty tight game, and then Cuesta kind of letting the Pirates go a bit and running it to that 11-point halftime lead, and that's where we keep coming back to is Kenny Robinson converting the 3-point play. 13-point game, backcourt pressure as you would expect from the Cougars with 2:36 to go. Harmon pushes it up. Robinson in there, Landenberger as well. Harmon, they're just playing some keep away now. McMurray.
Right.
Mitchell. 20 on the shot clock. Mitchell, McMurray in the corner. And tapped by Pedrosa, but they're going to say it was deflected off McMurray. Cougar ball with 2:18 to go. 13-point game. Plum and Ristov sending it right in front of us. Landenberger will wait as long as he can before touching it and starting the clock. Ristov loses McMurray inside. Ball fake, finds an open Kenny Robinson. Corner 3 is good for the Cougars.